All we can see is me right now on TikTok.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to hashtag Ghost Talk, brought
With
to you by
Back to Basics Paranormal.
your host, Ron.
And your co host, Kelly.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing here on our episodes with hashtag Ghost Talk. Kelly, so what we've decided, Kelly and I, we're going to actually go live on all of our platforms once, 3 times a week. I will definitely be involved 3 days a week. She's going to be involved as much as she can until she can relay herself a new job. So, that being said, we do
For
appreciate you
future
guys
employers,
tuning
my
in.
resume is on Indeed.
Right. So, we do appreciate you guys tuning in to Ghost Talk for our first episode Monday night tonight. We wanted to start about 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, but unfortunately, we did not get that opportunity to do so.
We had some technical
We had some
difficulties.
technical difficulties. So, tonight we're going to be talking about the Mineral Springs Hotel in Alton, Illinois. It's a fairly well-known place in Alton.
Yeah.
The hotel is it's no longer operational. It is now kind of more so a museum.
Yeah.
Um, there is a lot of activity and history that goes along with this place. Kelly has done a lot of research on this, and she's going to start kind of help digging into that research and then tell you what's going on for the weekend as well. Kelly, over to you.
Take it away, Kelly. So as all Ron said, the Mineral Springs Hotel. It's located in Alton, Illinois. It runs more so as a museum now, like we said. It was built in 19. It opened up in 1914. As started as the original hotel. It was the initial name of the place. And it was built by two German immigrant brothers, August and Herman Lohr. And the reason that Regain changed over to the Mineral Springs Hotel is because at that time they found the mineral springs that ran under the hotel, and they had the healing benefits, which Mineral Springs still actually do have, healing benefits.
If you believe in that kind of stuff.
If you believe in that kind of stuff. And anything from, it was just many different ailments, really. Not one, thing in particular.
So Kelly, tell us more about, let's just dive right in to what is some of the gruesome history of this place?
There's not so much a lot of gruesome history. It's more so sad stories. The first spirit that there's mostly known for is the spirit of Lou Harwood. He was reportedly shot himself in the hotel bar shortly after the hotel opened. He had, he was an implements dealer in Carrollton or at Carrollton and Kane. I'm sorry. He'd left 2 notes when he took his life. He said, that he had tried to come back and failed. However, in November of 1916, he told the clerk that he might not need a room for the night, and he did. And if he did, he would come back for it. Later on that same afternoon, a single shot was heard throughout the hotel, and and it was, he had entered, the hotel bar from the street and shot himself sitting at the bar.
He shot himself at the bar.
Shot himself. I'm sorry. Shot himself in a booth, sitting in the bar.
Okay.
He placed papers on the table. He had pulled a gun from his pocket, placed it against his chest, and fired. One of the notes that Harwood left read as follows: to Patriot and Gazette, which were newspapers at Carrollton. Just a word. I have been sick for 5 years. I have tried to come back, but I can't quite do it. Then why should I stick around in the way? You will say he was a coward to sit around contemplating something of the kind for a month or 2 at the time and see. If there are any other reasons for the act, it is no one's business. Yours truly, L.M. Harwood. There was a single witness, and that was the bartender Spence, Robert Spence. But but by the time anyone rushed from any other parts of the hotel, um, he was almost gone. So his obituary actually hangs in the lobby of the hotel to commemorate him. So that's one of the biggest ones, and the saddest ones.
What else kind of things do we have going on over there, Kelly? I mean, that may or may not be paranormal related that you know of.
There is one called the Jasmine Lady, which just kind of reminds me of another one. We have the Jasmine Lady, and there's another. This is completely opposite of Alton, Illinois, but of the Lamp Mansion, where we have the Lavender Lady.
Okay.
So it kind of reminds me of the same thing. Um, Apparently, she prefers the company of men. There's no saying who she was. Um, just that she prefers the company of men.
That's what she did with all her men.
You're so
Right
not
there.
right. There is also the spirit of Pearl Sands. Her obituary is also hanging up in the lobby of the hotel.
How did you get so loud real quick?
I don't know.
Because it just like bam
Boom,
came
all
right
of a
out
sudden it got
there.
really loud. Um, Pearl had just passed. She wasn't a violent death or anything. She just passed away in one of the hotel rooms. But again, her obituary is also in the lobby alongside Mr. Harwood's.
Okay. So, anything else significant as far as deaths or children's?
Um, the There wasn't really much I could see about actual children's death. There were stories of people who may have died or who died there, or just legends,
Okay.
you know, but I could not find any concrete, stories to say this was um with the Lavender Lady. This is supposedly the spirit of a woman named Mary who was staying at the home with her, or staying at the hotel with her husband. And during their stay, Mary had an affair with the hotel and was discovered by her husband. And then during an argument, he either pushed her or she fell down the staircase, caused her death. Why would that's not funny?
The thing says ouch. I was really looking for the word ouch.
So not right. So again, that's one that I could not find concrete evidence of a woman named Mary that was killed by her husband, or who accidentally fell down the stairs and died at the Mineral Springs Hotel. But there have been EVPs captured there, and it's a woman's voice saying Norman, Mary, or fall.
That's
And
interesting.
and the reason they call her the Jasmine Lady is because female guests of the hotel will smell the scent of jasmine, and men who are tall, attractive, with beards will feel a cold arm in theirs, as if they are escorting Mary around the hotel. So she's like, "Come with me, young sir."
Okay, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing this weekend.
So this weekend we are going to be making the 45-minute. What is it? 45 minutes or so.
Mhm.
45-minute trip over to Alton, Illinois, to go to the Mineral Springs Hotel ourselves. We will be taking our equipment with us, which will include our cameras, our EVPs, not EVPs, EMPs,
EMPs.
our
You mean
EVP,
EVPs? You mean our voice recorders?
our voice
Our
recorders, our
voice recorders?
EMPs.
Come on, Kelly.
I,
This
you
is
know
not
what?
your first rodeo.
I'm
We're
telling.
going to be taking our voice recorders, our EMF detectors. We're going to be taking our cameras and our cell phones. We will be doing it live
Right.
on TikTok, and TikTok exclusive, from 10 p.m. Central Standard Time to 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. That is going to be all depends on the amount of evidence that we're gathering.
Right.
So if we are doing well with the evidence gathering, we may run it later than than 12 o'clock
Right.
a.m.
And keep in mind some of the evidence that, for us to continue going live, that, you'll hear would be, any knocking or sounds or things like that that you would see or hear, you know, with the naked eye or the naked ear.
And
Any
we'll have
any evidence we pick up on our voice recorders or on our cameras that we don't see ourselves, we will share later.
right. So the initial intention is to we're all going to meet there Saturday afternoon. We're going to get our tours, right?
Mhm.
And then we're going to split up into a couple of groups. Kelly's going to take a group. I'm going to take a group, and then we're going to kind of go out on our own. We're going to get a tour of um, the different areas in the hotel, some of the different
The
rooms.
swimming pool.
The swimming pool's main area is one of the main areas of focus that I want to focus in. That's where the video camera is going to be set up.
And
Um,
incidentally,
there
the swimming pool is where another spirit is said
and
to be.
there's a few spirits down there, and if you look on YouTube for Mineral Springs Hotel, you'll find other paranormal groups that have investigated it, that
Mhm.
have caught evidence and have shared that on
Right.
their YouTube channels and Facebook pages and what have you. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
definitely, there's that word. So we're going to definitely, hopefully, having that all being taken care of
Right.
on that night. So that's definitely going to be fun. Um, like Kelly said, we're going to, or like I said, we're going to be live. And Kelly was mentioning that if you see anything through the stream that night, point it out in the chat. We will have somebody specifically monitoring the chat, and that way we can timestamp it, go back and look at it.
Right.
Because of course everybody knows on TikTok everything is recorded,
Right.
so we can go back and review the live. We'll go back and see what we can find. So if you see anything, that way, just make sure you put it in the comments, and you'll be able to timestamp it.
Yeah.
One of the things that we are going to start doing here as the group, like I stated before, we are going to start doing these lives Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from nine
Thursdays.
Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays live from 9:30 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. Mondays, Kelly will be here with me. Wednesdays, Kelly may not be here with me. Fridays, Kelly will not be here with me. Now, Thursday nights are the nights that we will, in between our normal lives, we will record our normal podcast
Right.
episodes
Okay.
and things of that sort. So, um, we're just going to kind of go in from there. We just may make it all live. Just depends on what you guys want to see,
What you
what
guys
you guys
like?
want to
Yeah,
hear.
absolutely.
So definitely. So we have our chat boxes open right now on TikTok. Kelly, if you want to shoot over to YouTube, I've got Facebook running. So if you guys have anything to talk about, anything you guys want to ask, please feel free to do so. We are open books. Just we want to make sure that we keep it clean, positive vibes, no drama. We
Yep.
want to make sure that everybody treats everybody with respect. We will block if you are going in there and creating havoc. So just keep that in mind. We do have secret moderators in all of our chats that will act upon accordingly if things are not going the way they should be.
Right.
That being said, I want to have a good time with this, guys, and
Yeah, for sure.
we
And,
want to grow this, and we want to make sure that you guys enjoy this as well, so we can continue to do this. So we're going to open the forums up now, and on um, in TikTok, we are going to actually open up the boxes. So if you are in the chat in the room and you want to open the box, we do want to keep the content strictly ghost talk.
Yep.
At this time from 9:30 to 11:30, that's kind of what we're doing. So you can ask us any questions, tell us no lies, and be nice to those.
If
So
you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all.
right. So let's get this going. So is anybody out there right now watching either YouTube? Um,
Facebook.
Facebook or TikTok, please let us know. And we are here. I think we got one, maybe two people watching in TikTok.
Yeah.
I think I got a couple
Hello,
over here in
Ricardo. Welcome.
Facebook town.
I can't tell
Um,
on YouTube, so
yeah, YouTube doesn't really tell us, but
no,
we're just experimenting with the Facebook and YouTube. TikTok's
pretty
our main
much.
platform.
This is a
Um,
new thing.
So, and we will get a little bit more prompt and a lot more better at this
Yeah.
as time goes along. So, and we will have guests eventually,
Yep.
kind of going in from there. So, Tell us what you think. Tell us what you want to talk about. Any questions? We are here. In the meantime, let's talk. Let's
Let's
just talk.
talk some ghosts.
Kelly, tell us. I know we've talked before. Um, some of your experiences. What have some of your experiences been?
Some of my experiences were mostly in my childhood home. You've been there.
Hmm.
Um, and it's really, you know, a shadow going around a corner, or really it was actually a red shirt that you would catch going around the corner. Um, I didn't personally have any experiences, but members of my family did. And the creepiest one has to be the one that Carrie had. Carrie's my sister. It was a Friday night, and my friend and I were sitting out in the living room, and we were watching Friday night videos. And this was back in like 89, 90. So
Back in the day.
back in the day.
This is
So
when you listen to this kind of stuff. Oops, wrong one.
you need to learn that soundboard.
We'll get it.
But we were watching Friday night videos, so you would see like NKOTB and thing like that. And my sister comes out, and for lack of a better term, she was just ghost white. I mean, white as a sheet, and she's pretty pale to begin with, but she was like, just there was just no color. And we're like, "What's going on? Are you all right? What happened?" And it took us a little bit to get her to finally talk. And she said she was laying in bed, and at the time she had a four-poster bed, and there was hardwood floors throughout the entire house because grandma hated carpet. So she said she heard footsteps or someone walking along the right side of her bed. And then they crossed in front of her bed. And then they came up alongside on the left side of bed, right where she was laying.
See, that is some spooky stuff
Oh,
right
it
there.
gets better. Or worse, however you want to think it. And then the bed sunk, like somebody had sat on the bed, and she could hear
Like a breathing.
somebody breathing.
That's creepy.
And she's just like, she said she was just like frozen, and all of a sudden she hears, Carrie, hold me, please. I'm getting goosebumps telling about the story, but that's the creepiest story that we've ever heard, about that happened in the house. And to this day, she hates telling that story. She's like, "You tell it." But not long after that, we switched rooms. And
Right.
I took over the middle bedroom, and she went back to the front of the house.
I can't really blame you for that for sure.
But I don't know. I don't know if it's maybe because it didn't scare me if something like that were to happen, because I'd be like, "Ooh, let's have a conversation." Whereas my sister is like, "I'm out of here. See ya, bye." That the spirit or whatever was there just
Right.
didn't interact with me.
Right.
It didn't like me.
So who's over there with us in the TikTok land?
Kenny B, what's up?
Kenny B, how's it going? Thanks for joining. Guys,
We
don't
got
forget,
Brenda, thanks for joining.
you guys,
Take away my
we have
swivel chair.
definitely take away the swivel chair. You guys, we have 3 different platforms going. We got YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. Please, you can message us on any one of the platforms. On Facebook, it is Back to Basics Paranormal, and TikTok, it is B2B. It's DMF underscore B2B Ron underscore DMF Ron B2B yada yada yada. It's all there.
You'll find us.
You'll find us. You can't miss us. And make sure you ask any questions and tell us no
No
lies. Like I
lies.
said. So we are definitely here for you guys. We want to hear your stories. So we are going to be live at least until 11:30 p.m. And so let's continue the stories.
Yeah.
Is anybody out there have any stories that they would like to share? Let's start there, and then if not, I'll go into a story. Um, how about you guys there on TikTok? Anybody want to jump in a box and talk about the stories? Maybe not. While we're waiting on that, let's let me look.
What we're forgetting to tell is we also have our website.
We have one of those.
Yeah, we do.
We do.
We do. It's backtobasisparanormal.com.
www.b2b
B2B paranormal.com. And actually on there you can hear an EVP that was recorded in my childhood home by my son. And go on there, check it out. Tell us what you think it says.
Yeah, it's pretty
No, this is not the wife. This is Kelly.
Who asked
Or
that?
Kenny.
Kenny, that is not the wife.
I'm not the wife. I'm just the best friend. One of the
You're my
best friends.
wife, Kenny. So, at any rate, with that being said, one of my experiences that was more on the cryptid side of things. My buddy Lanny and I, we were hunting, and we were at the farm at my father-in-law's property, and we were both on the wood lines, and we were standing there and we were waiting for the sun to come up, just like normal, just like we do every day, every year around deer season. Who is that?
Devil Dogs Chaos.
As long as you got something to talk about ghosts, you should be good.
It went away.
Um, Kenny, you're a mod in our TikTok chat, so if you make sure that when people want to come in or whatnot, they want to talk specifically ghosts
Yeah.
and ghost talk, okay? But at least until 11:30.
Please and thank you.
As long as you're in here, that is. But anyway, we're standing there on the wood line, and we hear and I've told this story on several of our different podcasts that we've had, and on some of our recorded podcast shows and so forth. And we're gonna be going over that in a little while. But we heard something just running across the field, and it wasn't your typical deer running across the field, down a hill, up a hill kind of thing. I mean, this sounded huge, like huge. The
Bigger than you?
Yeah, huger than me, bigger than me. I mean, I'm a big dude, but Jesus, that was
That's what I
big.
mean, like bigger than human.
Yeah, I would. It sounded more. I mean, the only way to describe it would be more like a bear, if that being the
A really
case.
big bear?
A really big bear, but big bears don't jump like that anyway, that I know of. But at any rate, the best way to describe it is it's kind of like when something hits the ground, there's bass. You know, like you can feel it in your chest. That's
Makes
what
up.
just if no, we'll just only accept if they're
Okay.
yeah. At any rate, so it felt like there was bass in your chest, and that was that was very
can
heart
imagine.
stopping for us. We weren't sure what it was, and when it did jump the wood line and over the fence, it goes. It made a huge, loud crash, something like we never heard before in the woods line. You know,
Wow.
and we've heard deer fall, we've heard deer jump.
Yeah.
It was nothing like that. That was probably the craziest thing that I've ever experienced in the woods up there. Also on our website, you will find a tab that says evidence. You can go and check out some of the different evidences that have been caught on camera and or video on there. We do not necessarily say everything that we put on our website is for sure 100% paranormal.
No.
These are videos that we have caught or our viewers have caught,
yeah.
or have sent us to post. So we let you guys decide that.
You know, and that's one part of the thing. We investigate it, you decide, you know, you tell us what you think.
Exactly, and that's exactly what we want you guys to we want you guys to do. So with all of that being said, you know, we want you to be as big a part of this group as we are.
Right.
Just because we're here behind the camera and behind the microphones and whatnot, we want you guys to participate in this.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
when we do investigations, when we do our lives, we want you guys there. We want you guys to be able to do there. You can subscribe to us both on Facebook. You can subscribe to us on YouTube. You can subscribe to us on TikTok. Everything that you guys do for us, all the shares that you guys give us, all the follows you guys give us, all the
love,
all the likes you guys give us, that every bit of that helps us grow, and that's what we're looking for.
Right.
You know,
for sure. Absolutely.
Anything that you guys donate or whatever, just to let you know, that goes right back. You know, we recycle a lot of that right back to you guys.
Yeah.
Rather it be through purchasing merchandise to send out for free, or gifting on these platforms that we do.
Right.
That's what we use that for. We don't keep all that. We're not
Doesn't
looking
go in
to
our
get rich and
pockets.
stuff like that. Right. So what you guys are able to do, we appreciate. But no longer, but by no means um, required. We don't want. We're not
No.
going to ask for it, and this will probably be one of the few times that we talk about it.
Right.
Just because this is our first time and our first time going live on this
On all the
platforms
platforms.
at
And
once.
we've been absent for a little while. I mean, because 'cause we've had some technical difficulties in
Oh,
scheduling and everything else.
who is this
So,
one?
notifications 1, 2, 3.
Cancel. Um, but with that being said, yeah, we're trying to rebuild this show back up, and it's
Right.
going to take not just us, but it's going to take all of you out there for us to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So each one of our viewers, each one of our fans, we appreciate it and we love you to
Yeah.
death.
Oh, for
So
sure. Yeah, absolutely.
there's no way, no doubts about
My
that or
friends.
around that. Um,
Oh, speaking of merchandise, I talked to the sis, and she is gonna see about making shirts for us, at least for me and you, Frank. So we've got some
okay.
shirts.
So that being said, I'm going to be pricing out hats.
Okay.
But I'm trying to find someone that's going to do the logo the way that I want it on the
Okay.
hats. And we are going to be sending those hats out to um, our top viewers that follow us and whatnot on
Right.
all of our platforms. So please, in the comments, if you're wanting a hat, wanting a shirt, drop your email address so we can contact you. Do it as a PM. Do not do it in the open chat. Do it as a DM,
Right.
please, so that when we get back to you, we can, we can talk one on one.
Right.
We will put our Snapchat out there for you guys as
We
well.
have a Snapchat?
I do.
Okay.
I have a Snapchat out there that we can use for communication, so when you guys
Right.
can snap us and do that.
And you can even if you find us on if you go onto the Facebook page, you can message us there, and one of us will answer you
There are,
directly.
and there's a form you can fill out as well on the Facebook page, rather it
And on
be,
the website where you
or
can
I'm
contact
sorry, the website. That if you guys need a place you need investigated, hook us up.
Yeah, let us know.
We'll
We'll
get you
we'll
out there. We'll get out there for
we'll
you.
do what we can to get out there.
As well, and if it's not for necessarily investigation, but you want a T-shirt or you want a hat, or you got some videos you want to post or send to us, so that way it's another means of you guys to be able to get in contact with
Right.
us. So for sure, Kelly, tell us another. Tell us talk. Let's talk about your sister's experience over there where she's working.
Oh, so my poor sister, I swear, ghosts just find her. So my sister works in a funeral home in Wisconsin, and a certain, I don't know if he's well known, but well, I guess he kind of is because several horror movies have been, mm, what is it, kind of framed after him. One of them being the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So if you know who that was kind of after, that would be Ed Gein. He was embalmed at the funeral home that she currently works at. Well, recently she was there alone and there was obviously a sound of footsteps upstairs. There was cabinets and doors closing and opening, and she was alone. So yeah, she went on live and posted on Facebook, and just as she was talking, you heard thunk, like a door closing upstairs, and she's like, "Don't be here." So, my poor sister. Not to mention,
Eyes in disguise. Thank you for joining us on TikTok.
then, at her house, I'm telling you, ghosts follow my sister, so we probably should see if she could come down this weekend and go with us.
That would be really cool if she can make it down here.
Right?
I wouldn't even charge. I wouldn't even make her pay.
So, at our house, she had been taking care of our dad, our stepdad, and her adopted son said, "Who is the old man that's smoking?" She's like, "What?" He's like, "I was sitting in the living room and I looked into the parlor and there was an old man with white hair and he was just sitting there looking at me and he was smoking." And her and I both immediately were like, "It's probably our dad." And then he saw a picture. He's like, "Yep, that's him." So dad's hanging around. Um, she will hear footsteps or like work boots coming up the stairs, and they stop if I remember correctly, she said in front of my nephew's door, and they don't go any further. And her husband's at work or he's right there next to her, so it's not him, and it's nobody else wears work boots. So, and this is always at like 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. So, the witching hour. So again, my poor sister. Ghosts just find her. Um, so some other experiences that we've had was my mother, again, at our family home. She was down in the basement and she was just sitting there watching TV and she caught movement out of the corner of her eye. Now, mind you, we are the only family that lived in this house. Our family had it built. So there was nothing that happened in this house. But anyway, she caught movement out of the corner of her eye and she looked, and out of the basement wall came a woman. And the only way she could describe her, and she wound up drawing it later, was a woman dressed in an old nurse's uniform. And she wanted to say probably around Civil War time. She couldn't really place the era, but it was old. So there's that experience with my mother. Ghosts were afraid of my grandma.
Oh, everybody was
Everybody
afraid of
was
your
afraid of grandma.
grandma. Your
Grandpa
grandma scared me.
she was feisty. But grandpa, on the other hand, he would be sitting at the kitchen table. The man would get up every morning by himself. He'd get up at like 5:30 in the morning every morning. And he'd be sitting at the kitchen table having a cup of coffee by himself and get a kiss on the cheek. That was it. Just give him a kiss on the cheek. So apparently the nurse had things for grandpa. But what's funny is grandpa, anytime grandpa was in the hospital, he'd flirt with the nurse. So maybe she knew.
Right. Right.
So this is some of the experiences that my family has had. Like I said, I personally have not had any in that house. I've gone places that have been said to be haunted or had a spirit or entity, and I could sense it. Like I just knew
Right.
something was there. So like I could feel something around me. It just did not.
That happens to me quite more often than I'd like it to.
Right.
I'm not, psychic or
No.
or what they call an
And I don't
empath or anything like
and
that,
you don't
but
have to be a
I can
psychic or an
feel the
empath. And an
energy.
empath is really you feel the emotions of those around you. But I think everybody has the ability to feel something if something is unnatural or supernatural. Great show, by the way.
That is a good show.
That is a good show.
If you like Supernatural.
Right. I believe everybody has the ability to feel something like that.
Right. So we got some people in the TikTok room.
Yep.
Kelly, she said, Eyes in Disguise said, "Sorry, ma'am, I love your eye color. That pinkish red is amazing."
Oh, thank you.
So, but we do have some people in the TikTok room. Is anybody that's in here? Have you had any experiences? Do you guys have anything you want to share as we continue to go on and on and on about our own? I know as much as I like to hear myself talk, and Kelly likes to hear herself talk.
I don't talk that much. Shut up.
Okay. Anyway, but we would like to hear your side of the story. We'd like to hear
For
your
sure.
stories.
Absolutely.
So please, don't hesitate to jump in and say, "Hey, wait, pause. I'd like to get into a box so I can talk to you about what we've experienced,"
Yeah.
and we will definitely do that. Um, so Eyes in the Skies.
Ronnie, can you share it out?
He is sharing it out.
No, he said share it out. Yeah. Oh, he's talking to everybody else.
He's talking to
Never
everybody
mind.
else. Yeah. So, Eyes in the Sky said that she had. So you have died, is what you're saying, and that you saw your grandfather. Is that what I'm reading correctly?
An out of body experience?
Would you come into do you have enough viewers to go live on TikTok? Eyes in the Skies. Yep,
Yep.
yep. Would you mind coming into the box? And we'd love to talk to you about this a little bit more one
Yeah,
on
for
one. It's better
sure.
than it's so much easier to do that when talking versus typing. Would you be interested in doing that with us tonight?
Sure.
Excellent. So do me a favor, go ahead and just hit multi-guest and and then actually
Right
Kelly,
here.
right there.
What I do?
You messed it up. Nope. Swipe left. There you go. There you go. And hit accept.
Hello, gorgeous.
You're probably going to need to turn that up on the mic on the tablet so
Okay.
you can hear it because we don't have that connected to the equipment yet. Yep. Volume up right there. Yeah.
Oh, we can hear you.
Okay, good.
Yeah, great.
So Ice, tell us about your experience.
Well, I was like 8 or 9 years old. I was riding my bike. I flipped my bike. I had rocks in my eyes, in my knees. The hospital at the time didn't have the weighted beds, so they couldn't check my weight. And because I was so lanky, they guessed me to be about 120 pounds when I was only 70 pounds. So when they went to put me under, they put me under. My heart stopped 3 times while they were surgically removing the stones from my face, from my arms, from my legs.
Holy moly.
And each time my heart stopped, I ended up actually seeing my grandfather, the one I was named after. I was the first boy born after he died.
Wow.
And so I never got to see him at all. And I went and basically I saw him and everything. I got to talk to him. And then they were able to revive me. And I told my mom, and my mom's like, no, you need to keep this all, quiet, because your family's going to just flip out on you. So I kept it quiet for, I want to say, 8 or 9 years before I finally told my grandma. And my mom looked at me and she told me, she goes, I told you to shut up about it. And my grandma's like, what was Grandpa wearing? And I'm like, well, this is what Grandpa was wearing when I seen him. And he also mentioned about a specific ring, Grandma. Like it was your wedding ring or something that you slipped into the coffin. And my grandma instantly broke into tears and storms out of the room. And I'm like, what happened? And my grandma comes back with a picture of my grandpa. Now, mind you, I only got to see one picture of my two pictures, the wedding picture and his old military picture.
Mm-hmm.
And grandma comes out with this picture that I described to a T.
Wow.
And she sat there and she said, I don't know how, did you ever see this picture? I'm like, no, I never got to see this picture. I seen Grandpa. And she goes, well, the really amazing part is nobody else knows that I slipped the wedding ring in the coffin.
That was his way of letting you know, hey, if you tell anybody, this is how you know it was really here.
Yeah, my mom didn't even know Grandma slipped this wedding ring in.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. It's like he was there watching over you to make sure you were going to be okay.
Yeah. It was really different to have that, experience.
I bet.
But well, you got to remember, I was only 8 or 9 years old.
Yeah. So, at that point, you're like, what's going on? Why am I seeing this? And
no,
now...
for some reason, I instantly knew
Okay.
that it was my grandpa. Like there was a
Was it almost like a sense of
real
peace?
special like connection, you know, just a real ease feeling of like I don't know how to say it. It's just it was an at ease feeling of like I've
A sense of
known him my
peace.
whole life.
That's amazing.
And I was actually really glad to have had that happen.
I bet.
That's a very good story, and that's a story that a lot of people have similar stories about, in those senses. So,
Yeah.
Eyes, I really appreciate you
That's an
stopping in
incredible
today.
story, yeah.
Kelly, do me a favor, tap his box up there.
Oh, I got weirder
Send
stuff
him a
that happened
rose.
to me. Like
There you
when my
go.
brother committed suicide for some reason, I
sorry.
knew exactly where he was going to be committing suicide.
That's
That's awful. I'm so
Literally,
sorry.
I was on my way to work, and something kept telling me that I needed to go to this specific spot. And I was like, no, I can't. I have to be to work because I had to support my family.
Yeah.
And all day it bothered me. This one specific spot kept bothering me, kept telling me I need to be there. And all of a sudden, I got done with work and my family started calling me, asking me where my brother was. I'm like, I don't know, but you guys need to go check out this spot.
Yeah.
And my brother that was just younger than him raced over there, and that's where we found him laying dead.
I'm so sorry.
That's awful.
That's life.
Yeah, it's life, but to lose somebody like that and like that's I'm so sorry for you and your family, but it's that gnawing feeling of why did you ever wonder why were you were getting that I need to go here, I need to go here before that?
I've had that other times where I did have the time and I turned around and I did go to the certain spots and I ended up saving a friend of mine from committing suicide.
Wow, good for you.
But I couldn't save my brother.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. And
I mean,
again, I'm so
I
sorry for your
could've-
loss. That's an awful loss to have.
Wally, Ron's in the back row.
I am in the background, Wally. I'm here.
You're right there.
I just
I'm better looking.
Yeah. Well, that's what she thinks anyway. So, yeah, I mean, and same thing with, we have anybody out there, Wally, or anybody that's in the chat right now that wants to jump into a box and talk about their experiences or insights or what have you. Please feel free to do so. Just remember, we do ask that you be respectful and that you keep it on the up for us all. Okay, that's we're here for each other. We're here to talk about our experiences, and we want to make sure that this is fun for everybody. And unfortunately, we do talk about stories that are not necessarily the most pleasant, but
Right.
we, if we can maintain our family ship, if that's a word,
Yeah, it is a family. It is a word.
and support everybody in the same way, then that's what we want to do.
And I just thank you so much for sharing those stories. Those are some incredible stories to share.
Absolutely, for
Thank
sure.
you for having me.
Absolutely.
You're very welcome.
You're more than
Yeah.
welcome. Join us again sometime.
Yeah, anytime you
Hang
want to
out.
come in, anytime
All right.
anytime
I
you see
always
us live.
Pop in on Ron, check on him.
Yeah, keep
I
him
love
honest, would
him
you?
and Wild Butterfly.
Yeah, she's amazing. Amanda, she's definitely amazing. So we've got a lot of great people in the DMF family that are out here that are willing to help out, talk to you and be friends and
You guys
you
have
know.
seen me in the chat giving him a hard time.
Oh, I'm
especially
sure
when
they
he's trying
do.
to do a tiny tiny.
And Wally, we do appreciate that too, very much, very much. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, anybody else out there wants to hop in and talk about want some hashtag ghost talk? Come on in. Otherwise, I'm going to share a story that I had when I was young. I
Do
probably
tell.
wasn't necessarily too young. Uh, probably somewhere between 17 and 18. I
Yeah.
mean, it's young compared to what I am now. I'm
Old as dirt.
almost 40 or 50, but in a couple
I
years.
was gonna
But
say almost 40. Dude, you're
um,
past 40.
there were I used to live with my pop over in St. Peter's, St. Charles area, and I hated his basement. And again, one of those things that I would always just get this feeling that somebody's watching me or somebody's there and what have you. Right. So um there's a couple of nights I can remember lying in bed, and of course I would always keep at least one light on just
Yeah.
because I'm in that basement. I was scared of the dark, and I can hear something rattling on the other side of the wall, which in my case was a tarp. So could it have been wind? Absolutely. A breeze of some sort, maybe something from the furnace or the vent ducts or whatever. But then I started hearing footsteps, and not just pitter patter footsteps like you would hear like if a squirrel or a raccoon is in your attic. These were like footsteps, like
Heavy footsteps.
right, like a human being.
Somebody walking on a floor.
And all of a sudden, the tarp just opens up because I had one tarp, and it's hard to explain. I kind of had
They had them like curtains.
yeah, they were wide out like that, right? So they were in a Y shape, and they just spread open like that. And I'm going to tell you right now, that was the last time I ever slept in that basement.
And your shorts were brown after that.
Yeah,
Mine would have been.
scared the holy moly out of me.
I'm telling you.
That's one of the most scariest experiences that I've had as a child before I got into the paranormal, actually doing what I do.
Right.
So, because we do a lot of this for fun, we do a lot of this for um, just entertainment and to get you guys something out there to watch. So,
I said I didn't have any experiences, and I literally, I guess my
Wally,
mind
thank you
blocked
for
it
the
out.
dinosaur.
Do it.
No, no. This
See, I
is
can do it.
hashtag ghost talk.
Anyway, so I did actually have one experience. So again, in my childhood home, we had this one, spirit, and we called him Ralph, and we assumed that Ralph was a child because this same spirit would go to the different houses. Never went to Justin's house though. I think it was afraid of it. Wherever there were children, the spirit would roam. And when I got married and I moved out into an apartment with my husband, I would have the same experience. Like I would see like a darting red. It was always a red shirt darting around a corner. And my son, being a baby at the time, he would have his imaginary friend. So I kind of put two and two together. Well, one night some friends were over and they were talking about this one house that was supposedly really haunted that had like a devil's gate or whatever to it. And this one girl said that she had a spirit that followed her, that it was not exactly nice, a malevolent spirit. And I'm like, well, I've got a friendly ghost. His name's not Casper, but I have a friendly ghost that comes along that's kind of followed me, from childhood, and we call him Ralph. Well, a couple days later, I'm getting ready for work, and I suddenly get this very cold feeling around me. And I'm in the bathroom, and my bathroom was not cold by any means, but it got cold. And I looked over into my bathtub, and there was a black shadow, and it growled. It made a very low, like, sound towards me. I'm like,
Tiny Danny.
it was a tiny
Rawr.
Diney before tiny Diney was a thing. And all I said was, Ralph, get rid of it. And all of a sudden my bathroom got warm and it was gone. So that was probably the most like holy crap experience I've ever had. Like, so this girl tells me about her bad spirit. She leaves it behind and it comes after me. I'm
Right,
saying Casper
right.
on your ass.
Do you remember that apartment that I used to rent in Fenton? when I lived next to my grandmother
Yeah.
back out there when we had all that
I
stuff?
stayed there with you.
Right. So when what were some of the things that I mean, there was times where we had lost my wallet,
The candle.
the candle, my Zippo when I
His Zippo would
smoked
always go missing. He would
always go
always.
missing.
He would have it, and all of a sudden it's gone, and we would tear that apartment apart looking for this Zippo. And we'd leave, come back, and that Zippo would be standing straight up
On
on
the
the counter.
Yep. The water would always turn on and off by itself.
Water would turn on and off by itself.
Yep.
And I slept in the living room, and the kitchen was like right there. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Really? You're going to turn the water on at 2:00 in the morning when I'm trying to sleep? Thank you very much.
Well, and then what about every time the channel got switched, it always ended up
On the Spanish channel.
on the Spanish channel. Every time, without fail. It was like, no matter what we were watching, within 10 to 20 minutes, it would switch every single time.
I remember messing with we were I think there was a storm, so we had no power, and we're just kind of sitting there bullshitting, talking, whatever. And we had a candle on, and I said, I bet you I can make that candle go out by just snapping my fingers. He's like, whatever, no, you can't. And I went and I wasn't anywhere near it, so it wasn't like the wind from my fingers. I just went like this, and the candle went out.
Dude. I about peed myself.
Got up
Not
and
gonna lie.
left.
That was crazy.
He went outside.
I did. That was some crazy stuff, man. We had some good times back,
We did.
growing up, and a lot of those experiences. I can't tell you how many times my daughter was, when she was real young, she was affected by the spirits that she would see.
I think kids are very
I think they're very susceptible.
because they're innocent and they haven't been programmed by society, I guess, to be a way to say it, to not believe in certain things. So they've got open mind. They're
Mhm.
innocent.
Yeah.
So
And that innocence, I think, is what I don't want to say what opens the opportunity for the entities, but I mean, I've seen a lot of videos out on YouTube and whatnot about these kids waving to things that aren't there, or looking for this or kissing that just aren't there, like reaching for mama, papa,
yeah,
or brothers or sisters and whatnot. And can it be staged? Yeah. Again, that's just I'm not there. I don't know for sure, and I can't definitely tell what's going on. But
yeah.
things are. I do believe things are happening. So, anybody else out there in the TikTok world or Facebook or YouTube world have any experiences you would like to share? Please feel free to let us know. We are still here for another 30 minutes. Eyes, if you have any more experiences you would like to share, we would love to hear them.
For sure. Absolutely.
Just hop in and cut us off. Let us know.
Ron, is that your wife?
No, this is my best friend, Kelly.
Okay. Kelly, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Kelly, I love the way you just put that last statement together. How children are not coerced by society yet. So they have that innocence.
Yeah. I see it in my granddaughter every day.
That was perfectly said.
Well, thank you.
Because yes, I believe a lot of things happen to people that have more innocence.
Oh, for sure. Because they're children are always, they're all seeing almost. They want to experience the world. They want to experience what's around them, and they're going to ask questions. And I have a 6-year-old granddaughter, and I'm waiting for the day that she asks, Nana, who's that woman standing behind you? To which I'll probably start crying and take her outside. But not that she would ever say that, but just as an example. And she knows I do this. She knows what my podcast is about. She knows my podcast is about ghosts. Her dad won't let her watch Supernatural, which is my favorite show. But children are, I think children experience things more so than we realize. But not all children are going to say, I saw that man, or I saw that woman, or there's somebody in my room, or, there's the monster under my bed. not all children are going to tell those stories or say those things, but those few that do, pay attention because
Mhm.
like I said,
Oh yeah.
they're not you know corrupted. I guess you could say by by what society thinks or believes should be true or real. They haven't formed an opinion. They're just going, what was that? What is this? They want to know.
Exactly. Hey Ron, I got a
Hmm.
question for you.
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Let's go find them houses. I want to do live in them.
Say that again.
Let's go find those houses. We want to do live at them.
The houses.
Houses.
Yeah. You said about the apartment that.
Oh,
my
yeah, yeah.
in my childhood home.
Yeah,
No,
absolutely.
yeah,
That would
true,
be
but
something
Ron,
I
he
would
was
love to
saying
do.
about his apartment where he would lose his bibble and stuff. Let's go do this.
I don't know. Can we still go there? Well, I think somebody may live there.
Well, I do know that the house that I used to live in, somebody does live there.
Yeah.
But as
In my
far
childhood home- in my
as
childhood
the
home,
apartments,
I-
I'm not
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, and then my childhood home, my aunt's like, I already asked her, I'm like, hey, can we come investigate the house? She said, hey, they ain't bothering me. I'm not bothering them. No.
Right.
But she did say,
would
if
love
she
to
ever
do it.
hears anything or sees anything, she's going to call us and let me know.
That would be awesome. What area do you live in, Eyes?
Wisconsin.
Okay.
What part of Wisconsin?
West or no, Central East.
Central East. My sister lives in Clyman.
Hellman.
Clyman, yeah. Close to Juneau and Watertown.
Down by Milwaukee.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
I'm between. Well, I'm in Wapaka, so I'm between Appleton and Stevens Point. Like literally right between.
Okay.
So I think Kelly and I are going to try to make a trip up to Wisconsin and
Carrie's house?
to Carrie's house and do an investigation there because I think that place I understand is active.
Very.
We're going to do the there. By the way, now that I'm thinking about it, there is this lady on TikTok, and I don't remember her name. And when I find out her name, I'll post it out there and I'll share the link. But it's pretty interesting. She always talks about the haunted places in Missouri.
There's so many.
And there happens to be one that she mentioned,
The Zombie
the
Road.
Zombie Road, which we are going to actually get to investigate after hours, hopefully. With we have to have an off-duty police officer with us. It's part of the agreement with the city, so we'll have to have that. But we can also go there during the day, and and supposedly a lot of activity happens during the day. So we might walk through there during the day sometime this fall when it's not too scorching hot outside, and get our feel for it and go in from there.
Yeah.
But there's definitely that.
I would also like to see what we can do about going to MSP, the Missouri State Penitentiary.
I'd like to go to the penitentiary, and I would really like to go to Windyville.
Yeah. You've talked about Windyville a couple times,
I
and
know.
have you heard back from her yet?
I've heard back from her too, and from here and there, but nothing solid. I mean, all we got to do is get it together and go.
Yeah.
Really. And I think we're going to take 3 or 4 people with us. I think if it's $300 a night for both rooms, so we'll divvy up the 2 rooms and whatnot. And like you and Joe can go in one room, and I can take Mason or Lanny in the other room, and it'd be a lot cheaper that way. But then
there's of course Lent Mansion.
And there is Lent Mansion, but Lent Mansion to me, I think is just a little overrated. I hear a lot of overrations about that.
I think because Lent Mansion may be overrated because people, it's so well known in St. Louis, but there's so much to that story and that family and what happened and how they went from top of the world to
right. Yeah, yeah.
Because they were like literally the leaders in the beer. They were, in the beer industry. They were before Anheuser-Busch.
Right.
They actually got Anheuser-Busch started.
Well, that's exactly who started Anheuser-Busch
Yeah.
was the Bush family who was them. So
It was
that's
not
all
Lemp
that.
and Bush are 2 different families.
Listen, sister, I'm not going to sit here and argue with you over technicalities, but this is not the
Researcher.
um
But they didn't beat the Pabst.
right.
Right? They didn't beat Pabst.
So yeah, so who else out here? I mean, there's got to be we got 4 or 5 people in here. Who else out here is has some experiences they'd like to talk about?
Or even have you been to any one of the places that we've, mentioned recently? I also wanna go to, Waverly Hills.
I do want to go to Waverly
I wanna go
Hills.
to
I
Waverly
really
Hills.
do.
I really do.
Yeah.
That's just not so much the ghost stories. It's just an interesting place.
Well, and the
Such
history
the
and the
history
history is
is
there
just
too.
amazing. It's, incredible. And we did an episode on do what?
Can't remember when that Ghost Hunter show was on.
Which one?
I can't remember. It was one of the original ones where they would go and set up all the equipment. I got a storm brewing it.
Ghost Hunters?
Big
Taps.
storm.
Yeah, Ghost Hunters tap.
But yeah, it was something Ghost Hunter, and I always wanted to join that.
Yeah.
But now I got kids, and it's like, yeah, I can't do that stuff anymore.
Right.
Hey, nothing says just because you got kids you can't do something.
Oh, so I should bring my kids along.
Sure. Why not?
Well, no. Just wait till your kids get old enough to do it to be able to
Let
stay
them
by
grow a little
themselves
bit.
if that's the case.
They have
Right.
to be this
No,
tall.
they're perfect age. I got 2, 6, 6, and 9.
You got
Perfect
twins?
age. Yes,
Cool. Yeah, bring them
all
along.
girls.
You poor guy. All girl. Father of girls.
I am raising them by myself.
Wow.
That's besides the
Wow.
point.
Congratulations on that. Or should I say I'm sorry?
Both. Girls
They
are not,
they are
boys are easier than girls. I've got one of each. Boys are easier than girls, so.
wrong.
You think so?
I know. So I'm sorry. My mom had 4 boys. There's
Really?
only 3 of us left.
Uh,
We were terror on her.
Really? See, my son was the exact opposite. My daughter is the terror. My son's the good one. Kind of.
No, we were very rambunctious bunch on our parents. My mom and dad. I had a really good upbringing.
That's good.
Well-
And why? I mean, I'm 41 years old, but you know what? I chose to have my kids later in life
Yeah.
for the reason of I wanted to make sure myself that no matter what happened, I would one way or another know how to take care of my kids.
Right.
well, that's the important part.
And that's the most important thing.
So, I mean, I didn't start till I was 32. So.
Wow.
And no, the 2-year-old
I was
is not
19.
mine.
All right. Well, we're
I'm
gonna
pop
go.
out of the box.
What's that?
I'm gonna jump out of the box.
You're good.
All right.
We're
It
actually
was
getting
great talking to you, Eyes. Thank you so much for sharing your stories.
absolutely, and we're here. We're going to be here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9:30 to 11:30 p.m. Central Standard Time.
And I'll be
every
here
week,
I'll be online every other Monday.
So
Until I can get up to 1,000 followers, then I'll jump on when I'm at work.
absolutely there. All right. So
There you go.
Eyes in the Skies, thank you so much for joining. We appreciate you coming in.
pleasure.
It was a pleasure meeting you. I shot you a
Ron,
follow.
did you forget who I was?
No.
I think he forgot. I changed my name and I changed my picture.
He forgets his name from time to time.
I forget who I am from time to time.
Streaking Kennels.
What is it?
It was Streaking Kennels.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
I've
I know
seen
who
the
that
new
is
eyes
now.
before,
I
yeah.
got you. So I sent you a follow on the new account and the new name. By the way, this is actually going to be my main account versus my backup. So I have 2 accounts. So we've got that going.
I was friends on both of them.
Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, they keep dropping down, but either way. But
TikTok's done that a lot. I noticed a lot of my friends I've had to like refollow, and it's people like a bunch of them that where I actually go into their lives a lot, and it's like, well, why? All of a sudden, I don't know,
right.
kind of weird. But all right, I'm gonna jump off.
All right, sir. Thank you again for
Thank
coming in.
you.
It was a
Great
pleasure. And
episode.
like I said, anytime that we're alive here, you are welcome to come in and join us in conversation. Appreciate you. Love your face.
Love your face.
Love you guys too.
All right, everybody. Again, I want to thank you guys for joining us here at Back to Basics Paranormal for our new live episodes. Hashtag Ghost Talk Monday through Friday. I'm sorry, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time to 11:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Some days we may cut it a little short, depending on how much activity we have in the chats. But if we are booming, we may stay a little late. So it's all good and all there. So it looks like tonight we are going to go ahead and wrap it up. Again, my name is Ron, and this is,
I'm Kelly.
and we do wish you the best of luck. Stay safe. I want you guys to also remember one important thing: be true to yourselves, be true to each other,
No, stay positive.
and stay positive. That's a good saying right there. Stay positive. All right, everybody. Thank you again. You guys have a good night, and we will see you on Wednesday.
We'll see you on the flip side.